What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Rewind Smacked Raw show, where myself and my co-host RN here run down the latest week wrestling in WWE and AEW. We hit all the hot, the hot takes, the high notes, maybe the low notes too, and leave out all the filler. Once again, my name's Kyle Tyson, and I got RN with me. What's going on, RN?
Not much, boss man. How you doing?
Doing good, man. Happy draft week.
Right. You know, I missed the first night.
Dude, does it feel like this draft has been the most underwhelming one in recent memory?
When Bama posted the results, I thought it was like some trick shit or like joke stuff. I'm like, no one changed shows.
So
like, did I miss something? Like, except for like Hit Row, which I'm fucking down for sure. And then on top of that, Swerve's still the North American champ.
North American champ, yeah. So here's a weird thing about the draft that I didn't know till the next day, and I was watching Wrestle Talk's SmackDown recap, and they said the rules for the draft was half of the roster is eligible. They don't disclose what half is eligible. And then those who don't get drafted get to pick their own brand.
No, I knew that. They did that last year.
I didn't know that, man. I didn't know. It's
well, not about the half being eligible, but about the ones that don't get drafted get to pick their brand. They did. I do remember that from last year.
Man. Yeah, we had some interesting picks. We'll get to the draft portion of this show once we get to the SmackDown portion of the show itself. But if you guys are new to the show, please don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button over on YouTube. Hit that notification bell too while you're at it. We got new stuff going up all the time. RN, your rants are turning into some of our most viewed content on the show. I'm really digging them, man.
I don't want to say I told you so, but
you got one more rant coming out this Thursday before you got to start doing some new ones. This is behind the scenes
I've already
stuff.
been thinking of. That's the thing. Quit fucking around, people. Send me some #MuteRN ideas. I'm ready to go. But I know I'm going to record probably about. I'm not going to do as many as I did before because I feel like they got kind of dated.
Yeah.
So I'll probably do like maybe 2 or 3. And then when the next one comes out, I'll do 2 or 3 more.
Right. Yeah, if you guys are wondering, you can catch RN's rants over on YouTube. We post them on either Thursday or Friday, depending on my schedule, what allows me to get it done. It also, our editor, Savannah, too. She's a very busy person, so it's... Sorry we don't have it like down to a set date and time, but you can rely on them on either Thursday or Friday every week. A new rant going up on YouTube by RN. You can always check them out. We have a playlist for them. Check out the playlist. We already got 4 out. RN, you've gone off on Natty. You went off on that fan that jumped the AEW barricade.
Yep.
You went off on Jimmy Uso's DUI. And what was the last one? Oh, when WWE axed like a ton of their female talent in the last cut.
Shout out to Savannah for, even though they fucking betrayed us and stabbed us in the back and started their own shit. Savannah still fucking kills it on the MuteRNs. Like,
yeah, man.
Some of this shit, like I don't even see like some of the stuff. Adam had to go back and watch it and see that part. Like, who's doing this shit? I'm like, believe it or not, she's a fucking 20-year-old girl knocking these out the park like that. Like, I'm fucking digging. Thank you, Savannah. I appreciate you. Definitely glad that it's one of our most watched things, and I can prove what a star I am.
Yeah, check out the former Smack Raw's She Elite Showcase, and now just She Elite Showcase hosts Savannah and
Katie Bebe.
Yeah, Katie Kinsey Bebe. You know. Remember, it depends what brand she's on. Depends what brand she's on.
It's on our brand.
It's Daniel Bryan Danielson, you know?
Nah, it's WWE. We ignore all other brands.
We
and
can't
all other
dead name her, man.
Yes, I can, D. Briars. It's Katie Bebe here. When we're on Smack Raw's channel, Smack Raw shows, I pretend like nothing else exists. It's only our promotion. So she will forever be Katie Bebe.
Oh,
Sorry.
man. Hey, listen, you guys, if you ever see our live show over on twitch.tv/SmackRaw, please hit that follow button. We're on the road to 100 subscribers, but some other cool milestones that we recently accomplished this last week. We're proud to say we just recently hit 500 episodes of Smacked Raw. Oh my goodness, we have a lot of stuff out there. And one that we're definitely way more proud about is 10,000 downloads. Our podcast has been downloaded 10,000 times. Thank you guys to our old listeners, to our new listeners, everybody that's helped us along the way. Man, that's such a cool milestone that I just randomly stumbled across while I was looking at our stuff online.
Bro, that's like I didn't take, I don't want to say I took it for granted, but like for 2 years, like I keep forgetting, like we just hit 2 years.
Yeah.
And 10,000 down, that's a lot of fucking downloads.
I know, man. No, I did when we started this thing. I'd be like, man, we'd be lucky to get like anybody to listen, let alone download. No, it's awesome. Special shout out to Bullet Club Hunter on Twitter and Hillbilly Heel. I'm probably butchering their ads. Let me quickly pull these guys up. These guys are two of our most devoted listeners. So on Twitter, make sure to give these guys a follow. So you have at, where are you, buddy? At BC Hunter WWTT. Awesome fan of ours. He's always interacting with us in the YouTube chat. I suggest you guys get down there too. He is a co-host of Wrestling with the Truth podcast. Make sure to check them out. And then another good friend of ours who I believe I actually had a chance to meet at the Fight for the Fallen show, AEW. I handed this guy my entire stash of stickers, which was supposed to be distributed through several people. And I just said, you know what, man, you're an awesome fan. I believe that's who I'm shouting out here. Otherwise, I still know this guy on Twitter interacts with us all the time. He's at Hillbilly Heel, HILLBILLYHEEL. Check him out, man. A lot of fun. He's a great wrestling fan as well. Thank you guys for being two of our biggest fans. And then, of course, our co-host Bama, who's always been in the live chat even before he was ever part of the show. You guys have been awesome. Thank you for helping us get to where we've been.
Shout out to Bama for being. We got to shout Bama out for being the most professional podcaster there is, and for literally, let's just call a spade a spade. We kind of got decimated with injuries and releases of our own on the Smacked Raw channel. And Bama stepping up. He is definitely the workhorse, the IC champion of fucking Smacked Raw pod. Thank you, Bama. We love you.
One of the three legs of our rickety barstool show that we have going on. Last shout out. Unless plans change, you should have an episode of UWO airing probably tonight if you're watching this on YouTube, but Tuesday, October 5th, 6:30 p.m. Eastern time. Myself, Savannah, we got Matt Vertigo, and then, oh man, I had it right in front of me too. Here we go. Eric Zarens joining us on UWO. There is a possible chance it might have to get rescheduled. It's based off of one of the guests, but he said you'll let us know. So if everything holds together, 6:30, check that out. And then at 9 p.m., Bama, joined by a lot of his own guests, is going to be counting down everybody's top 10 favorite wrestling entrance themes.
I'm in that.
Yeah, you're in it. I shouldn't have too hard a time. Bama's made sure he plugs himself so well.
He is, like I said, the most professional wrestling podcast.
Yeah, Squared Top 10 and The Gun Show are also going to be joining you guys tomorrow night. That should be a lot of fun. So make sure to tune in. We have a lot of live content coming out Tuesday, October 5th, starting at 6:30 p.m. and carrying all the way through to 9 p.m. as well. All right, man. RN, let's talk about this week that we just got through before Raw starts tonight. We'll kick it off with Monday Night Raw. I see my hotkeys already failing me. Here we go. Monday Night Raw. There we are. So here's my takeaways. Let me know if you had anything different. So first and foremost, Warren Hayes predicted the future. Jackson Riker, number one jobber, jobbing out to Karrion Kross. I had to include that just for the burial Warren gave him.
And shout out to him for fucking retweeting and responding to that tweet. That actually made me not hate him as much as I do.
I was like, oh man, there might be a humble human being in there, mixed in with all the other stuff that Jackson Riker may or may not be.
Right.
Keith Lee, full heel persona, defeats Akira Tozawa.
Oh, he didn't do anything heel. He's
a heel.
Bro, no, just because what did he do that was actually heel?
I don't recall. He just seemed angry.
He didn't do exactly. He was just mad.
He angry like a bad guy angry, though.
He came out and did what you're supposed to do in a wrestling match. Dispatch of your opponent as quickly as you fucking can.
But Keith Lee's normally like a sportsman type guy. He likes to shake hands.
I understand. The only thing he didn't do was shake hands, but he did everything he did in a normal Keith Lee match. It goes back to what we always say about WWE. They don't know how to actually portray heels. They portray heels. All the heels do good guy shit. All the baby faces do bad guy shit. And he didn't do anything except for smash him and keep it moving.
I want to say I just listened to a list on Cultaholic by Adam Pacitti, and he talked about like the top 10 like evil crap baby faces have done in pro wrestling. Some of the stuff is really crazy out there.
Most recently, I just think about fucking John Cena swiping in on Finn and signing his name on the contract.
Yeah, that's definitely not some good guy shit right there, especially when you had fan favorite Finn Balor was about to be in that match. The WWE Championship. This was pretty cool. We had the reunited Hurt Business during the match opener between Big E and Bobby Lashley. The match gets tossed out when New Day come out. Everybody starts brawling, and then ends up getting booked later in the night in a steel cage match, which was very entertaining.
Before we get there, let's just talk about WWE. That we never give them. We always give them shit about not listening to the fans.
Yeah,
bringing back the Hurt Business, and then really the little Easter egg the night before with Bobby Lashley attacking Big E with the Hurt Business shirt on.
Yeah,
and then actually coming back the next night. Like, first of all, they should have never broke them up, because then you could have. I mean, there's just so many possibilities you can do with the Hurt Business. Like, first of all, you gave Cedric Vernella and No Talk Shelton something to do, and they're not just toiling. And because they are so good in the ring and have an MVP or Bobby Lashley speak for them, you kind of make them a complete package now where they don't have to talk because they're not good at it. So
right. Yeah, it's so refreshing to see them back on television.
Absolutely.
It is a little disheartening with one faction reuniting. Later on, we had another split up. I'm, of course, talking about the New Day, but we'll get more into that on the SmackDown portion. One thing I really liked about this was smart all the way around. I want to highlight a couple things here. You advertised your show to kick off with a hot match. Smart thing to do. It's not like AEW was the first people to do that with like Kenny Omega and Bryan Danielson. But it obviously is warranted. People tune into wrestling shows oftentimes to watch wrestling. What better way to kick off a show and get everyone hyped is with an exciting match. And then B, it gave Big E that definitive win over Lashley, which if Lashley is leaving Raw, you'd want him to have that. You'd want to have him that accolade because he is a baby face, and you don't want his championship reign resting on a cashed in on an injured, hurt Lashley. So you give him that win. It's smart booking all around. Smart booking.
Because it didn't hurt Lashley because he was on his way out. Like, if he was staying, I probably would have had a bigger issue with it. But the fact that he's shipping out, like, that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to go out on your back. So
right. And lastly, last thing that I have. Hey, Marie Shadows is in the chat. Hey, Marie. I had a fun talk with her last night. We were talking about like Patreon and shit.
Yeah.
And then I got to see her fiance, husband, boyfriend, once again. Pops in for a cameo. Cool guy. Anyways, Goldberg vowed revenge on Bobby Lashley.
I'll kill you. Shut
Says
the fuck
if he's
up.
lucky, he'll kill a man. WWE giving the green light on the death threats again, man.
My thing is like, at this point, everything should be off the table except for any type of like sexual comments or violence towards women and any type of like shit towards kids. But as long as it's man on man violence, no one's gonna give a shit. Let's just call a spade a spade. As long as there's no like nothing against homosexuals or anything like that, and it's just straight heterosexual man versus straight heterosexual man, nobody's gonna give a shit if you're cursing or saying you're gonna kill him. Let that shit ride. Going back to it, I'm here for it. I hate Goldberg, but I'm not mad. Like, I would want to kill a motherfucker too if he touched my son.
That's what I'm saying. It makes sense. There's nobody's gonna be like, I'm excited to have this athletic competition with you, especially after you laid hands on my child. You know what I mean? Exactly. No, you go straight to I'm gonna murder this man.
And that's the thing. Like, that's what I think that WWE always fails on. Is like they act like they're pushing the button and like they're pushing the limit, but they never really have.
Right.
Now they kind of are. Like, there's limit. Trust me, you can get away with a lot of shit, and especially towards that 18 to 24 male range. Like, we don't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying?
Just make it make sense.
Just make it make sense and stay away from the hot button topics that'll get you in fucking trouble. So nothing sexual towards women, nothing violent towards women, and nothing towards the LGBTQ community. And other than that, let these men cuss each other out, stab each other, beat each other. No one is going to give a fuck. We're going to cheer it on and eat it up. Let it happen. Even if it is trash ass Goldberg that we don't like.
Yeah, man. I was going to say the thing I found that was like the funniest was that portrait in the back of Goldberg. And it's him essentially curling his son when he was a baby. And he's got his son laid out like on his forearm. I could not take my eyes off of that shit. It was both heartwarming and hilarious to look at.
And that's the thing too. Like, I don't want to. I know I come off as a Goldberg hater because I am, but I'm a WWE wrestling Goldberg hater. Like real life Goldberg and like him doing those other shows and shit. When you get to actually see him and take him seriously as a person, he's actually fucking legit and actually dope. Football player, mixed martial arts, all that shit. But him being a 97-year-old man going against these men in wrestling, like, and continuously winning and shit, and like just getting the TV time he does, that's what pisses me off. But actually, like Bill Goldberg, the person, I genuinely enjoy and I love his shows outside of wrestling.
Yeah, he really does just seem like he enjoys his manly life.
Yeah, and he enjoys being a dad. That's probably one of my favorite things about him. Like, that's not just for TV or to push this storyline over. Like, he genuinely loves being a dad and being a part of his son's life. And I definitely, that's something I can latch on to and kind of, you know what I'm saying, find some silver lining in my head for Goldberg.
Right. Bama touches on the tone shift, though. He's like, it is hard to promote I'm going to kill you, and then in the next breath, promote Lily Doll and the show brought to you by Skittles. Yeah, you do have a point there. The transitions, their segues could use some work amongst other things too. But yeah, that's pretty much what I thought of Raw. Raw was pretty solid. I had to break it up in 2 chunks like I do every week.
Right.
It helps.
I told you the last month, Raw has been on point.
It has been. No, I completely agree. Hey, let's move over to NXT 2.0. I'm going to keep saying 2.0. From this week. Now, this I do apologize. I'm slipping back into my old roots. I was not able to catch it in time. But from what I've gathered, it looks like the second week in a row, it feels, from what other people have said, and I can let you clarify, and I'll look up some notes on it. It sounds like they were throwing a lot of stuff against the wall, a lot of random stuff.
No, I wouldn't say random stuff, but it was just shit people don't give a damn about.
Okay.
I think that's a better. I think that's a better interpretation of it. Like, I'm completely like, I don't want to say I'm checked out on NXT, but like I am nowhere near invested as I am. And like we had that talk, like who exactly is NXT geared towards, and it's no longer geared towards me.
Okay.
Like, and how I feel about it. Like what I like, don't get me wrong, I completely understand the revamp and the direction change because of the initiative that they're going towards. Let's just be honest. There are no real indie guys to sign because AEW has signed them all, or they signed them all before AEW did. Right. So there's not anything out there for them to get. So I understand the direction change. But if you're going to do that, you take this shit back to the network, to the cock, and you hide it away and make it a cult thing to develop these guys and put them in that little bubble or cocoon until you're ready to bring them up. Having it, because I don't give a shit what anybody says. The Steiner kid is not ready. Everybody can love, yes, he's dope. He's literally a perfect combination of his dad and his uncle, but his matches are sloppy, and yelling in the ring after every move is the shit that killed WCW in the 90s to begin with. I'm just sorry. He's just not it.
His body slam. I'm the man.
Right. As of right now, I'm not saying that he doesn't have potential and that he's not going to be fucking dope and that there's not potential for him to literally be Big Papa Pump 2.0, because there is. You can see it there. You can see there is that star potential there for him. He's not there yet. Josh Briggs, another guy, not there yet. Who was that else? The Franz Wagner from fucking D2, the Mighty Ducks are back. These guys are not ready yet for these positions that they're being put in.
D2.
The dude from Iceland, you know what I'm saying? That's what I think of every time.
Yeah.
They're just not ready. And there's nothing wrong with that, but don't push them to the forefront, to your main event, to your top storylines for guys that are not ready yet. And I know NXT is to get them ready, but don't put them on live TV. Tuck this shit back away on the network where it can hide and develop without having the spotlight on.
Yeah, it just doesn't seem like that's the direction they want to go, though. They do
it doesn't.
It does seem like they want it to be the developmental show. You're going to see the people who are not refined, that are rough around the edges. It's just the more I think about it, the more confused I get. So last week I posed the question, who was the show for? And then now, I posed the question, what's the change for? Because, like you said, putting it back on Peacock makes sense. But if your intention is to stay on USA and increase ratings, I don't know if that, the whole shift, if that's what it's for.
They couldn't generate ratings when it was people that everybody knew and loved.
Exactly. And to bring in a whole batch of new guys, now let's be honest, that scene of Tommaso Ciampa last week with all the guys behind him looked straight out of 1994 New Generation WWE. Facts. Now, granted, there's for every large group of people, there might be a diamond or two in the rough. At the moment, we're still letting the smoke clear, is what's happening with this. I will speak on the whole Mandy Rose thing. I was joking with my wife, and I feel good and bad about it, but I'm sorry, changing your hair color is not a character change. Changing to a brunette and being more assertive in the ring. That's true, but that lets you know you haven't really been watching, because she does have, her character is not the Mandy Rose from her time in the. She cut that promo last week, talking about being, desired by men and envied by women, which was no different than any other female in the last decade.
Right, but that's not on her. That's WWE's fucking initiative and what they're pushing. I got you. My thing is, too, what she's doing is bringing along with these young girls. She has had a meaner streak, and you can tell that there's some sort of there's chemistry between them, which makes no sense because she's that diva, for lack of a better term. Yeah. Super beautiful. Office is behind her, wants to push her. Then you got these down and dirty, gritty girls with them. And for some reason, to me, that's one of the things that does work. It shouldn't. And there's no reason for it to. And like you said, Mandy didn't make that much of a fucking change besides her hair color and a slight change in attitude. But when you pair those two younger girls with her, that's the part of NXT I would be down for if we had these young dudes that no one heard from, and then you put them with people that they knew. To hey, this is what we're doing. They cut everybody else I fucking know, so I had to go find some guys in the back to help me or to bring along. You know what I'm saying? Something to where there's some sort of fucking connection to the old NXT, not just throwing guys out there we fought in a bar, now we're a tag team.
Yeah, that's true.
Or the mob dude. Like, are you fucking kidding me?
Oh, I can't wait. I can't wait for them to go in on.
Like, I know it's because of the Soprano shit coming out. I get it. You're trying to fucking kind of
capitalize on the pop culture hype and everything.
Like, bro, like this is literally like so what we waiting on now? A dumpster, a fucking social media influencer. Oh, we got that too. The last chick. Like, they're literally just doing jobs and fucking things like they did in the 90s. They're just using. You're just pushing it forward to now. Like,
speaking of social media influencers, how many people you think had a heart attack when they saw Instagram was down today?
Oh, I did too. I was trying to. Well, this has nothing to do with wrestling, but my dog business.
Yeah,
I was trying to get I was getting a stud feed from another guy, and we only communicated really on Instagram.
Right.
You can call on Instagram. You can video chat on Instagram. Today our dog needs to be bred. Well, really, it's in the morning, but he lives in California, so we got to get a ship today to be there in the morning to breed her correctly and on time. God. Instagram was down for 9 hours.
Yeah, man, it's back up. I was actually only peeved because Monday night we have like this Dungeons and Dragons like game on the Oculus headset. My wife and my brother, we all play, and it's through Facebook. So Oculus was down, but apparently it's back up now, so we'll still be able to play it.
Yeah, but that was the thing. It got back up. We had literally 30 minutes to get a hold of the guy and get him to the vet to send us the semen we needed to get our dog pregnant. Literally 30 minutes.
Jesus.
Luckily, he was only 10 minutes from his fucking vet.
Back to NXT. NXT UK champion Ilya Dragunov, I guess, he stopped by, and the crowd was really into him. But he did say he's shipping off back to the UK. Says he'll be back soon, though. I hope so. You think Walter gets drafted tonight? He's got to get drafted, man. He doesn't want to live in the States, but I
know that. Really, I think it should be Ilyanov that should get drafted. Like, because he is, let's just be honest, he's Russian Finn Balor. He's got the look. He's got the moveset.
Amazing. Guy is amazing.
He draws the crowd in. It doesn't matter where he's at, if they can understand a word of fucking he's saying or not. Like, he just drags. You can't take your eyes off him. Like, so if you can't get Walter, who's the next best thing?
Yeah, it'd be Dragunov. They're 1A and 1B as far as hard UK hitting guys, man.
Right.
Yeah. No, they're fantastic. Yeah, I'll probably end up tuning in and watching NXT like tonight before bed because there is some stuff in here that I really want to see. I am intrigued by who is. Oh God, where's his name? Who's the fella that had the controversial left wing gimmick?
Duke, I think, what's his name? Duke something. Is it University of Duke or some shit? Like, I forgot what it is.
Yeah. Oh shit! I'm sorry. Dragunov didn't stop by last week. My apologies. I just read something else. Stupid Twitter.
Yeah, that was a couple weeks. That was
a couple weeks ago. Yeah.
That was a week before the 2.0, I think.
Yeah. No, I was scrolling through Twitter and I just caught him. Duke, is it Duke Hudson?
Yeah. That's it.
Man. I'm intrigued, man. The guy seems like a psychopath.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Like, and if they I wish they didn't saddle with the teacher shit. Like, if they just let him be a psychopath.
Yeah,
because he's got size that they want. He's excellent on the fucking mic. I'm talking about excellent on the mic. And like I said, he just needs to be unleashed. Like I said, and that's the thing. I know I'm seeing like I'm hating on NXT, and there are some good things like Odyssey Jones as well, and Carmelo Hayes and Trick. Like, they have some good things going. But I don't think that you should have just completely wiped out all the old stuff and just threw that in without giving us any type of warning or, you know what I'm saying? Like,
no, I'm right there with you. But yeah, we'll have to check out NXT some more. And my bad on missing it. I'll be back to watching it next week. I know that for sure. Let's move on to AEW Dynamite 1.0. It was the 2-year anniversary. The John Huber or Brody Lee tribute show, or not necessarily tribute show, but they were in Rochester, which is obviously where he was from and where he was supposed to debut. Former Smacked Raw host Kevin Crazy was actually live in the crowd. Man, I bet he was having a blast, dude. Now, granted, I love that I went to AEW Dynamite and I had a blast.
Right,
I was 1 month off of having Adam Cole and Bryan Danielson live in front of me, man. Like, I cannot wait for the next time they come through North Carolina. Oh, and CM Punk. and CM Punk.
I screwed up with the Cincinnati shit. I should have been at that show, but
Oh man,
I won't make that mistake again. The next time they come this way, I'm going.
Oh gosh. So AEW continues its theme of just packing their 2 hours with as much stuff as they can get. And we were joking earlier. If you look at your phone for 5 minutes, you've probably missed at least 2 segments.
Literally.
But out of everything that happened out of Dynamite last week, all that people took away from it is Arn Anderson probably has killed a man.
The main thing that I took it from it is Jungle Boy, maybe Adam Cole 2.0
for the gosh. In the ring for sure. Yeah,
he is. I think this proves to me on both fronts that he's the future and Adam Cole is the present, and they need to hurry up with this. Like, I don't think they should kick Adam Cole. I know Bama and a lot of guys are upset and not cool with him being with the Bucks, but like that was when he was really at his best. If I'm being honest, and even with Undisputed Era, when they were heels and he had minions to do his fucking work and protect him. Like, I don't think he'd be the same if you kicked him out and he was out on his own. Like, if anything, Omega needs to go and Adam needs to take his place, because people forget the original person before it was the Elite was Adam Cole, Mount Rushmore, PWG. Go back and check it out.
Yeah. There's all that speculation around Kevin Owens.
That's who else was in Mount Rushmore with him, was the Bucks, Adam Cole, and Kevin Owens.
Yeah. And I know Bama, anytime that you say Adam Cole should take over the Elite, Bama instantly just starts cheering.
No, he starts pissing. He starts getting mad, shooting hellfire and brimstone because he wants him away from the Elite.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, he wants Adam Cole doing his own thing. Look, it's Bama. There's no shame in Adam Cole wanting to be surrounded by the best bout machine and the greatest tag team in history of wrestling. Okay,
facts.
Just once you start accepting that, it's okay, man. No, that'll raise some eyebrows. Yeah. So Arn Anderson left Cody after they had a tag match. Cody and Lee Johnson. Yeah. They had a tag team match. Lee ended up actually picking up the win for the team. Arn Anderson comes in the ring irate, calls Cody essentially soft.
Yeah.
Says he's a soft man. What was the analogy? He says if you were getting carjacked, he said you would get out of the car, you would say, sorry, go ahead and take it, just don't hurt me. Right. And then Arn Anderson says, I would reach in, grab my Glock, put it between the man's eyes, and spill his brains all over the pavement. Wow, what a metaphor for you're a soft.
But wrestler. The only thing I hated about this was like they still like they cannot help. They got to do whatever they can to kind of make fucking Cody come out looking like the sympathetic babyface, and it just doesn't work. It doesn't matter. This man threatened to kill a man, and I still don't give a shit about Cody, and I came out liking Arn better.
So this is my weird thing here, right?
Right.
Is it so? They're picking up that people are booing Cody, right? Yeah. Is this an attempt to get him sympathy?
Yes.
To have his coach turn on him? Is this you guys really going, oh, you guys are booing Cody, let's try to get you guys to cheer him again?
Yes, that's absolutely what this is.
That has got to be so tone deaf if that's what you're going for.
If you don't think that that's what this is, then I don't even, like, what the fuck?
No, I mean, my natural instincts say yes. But I've looked at Cody's attire, how he acted with the ref the previous week, accidentally hitting the referee. I was like, okay, we're on the verge of Cody's downfall and turn into being, a bitter heel. And then you see this with Arn Anderson, and it's like, oh, you guys are trying to get us to sympathize for the EVP. The grandson of a plumber.
All you need to do is watch this reality show. Like they're trying.
I got like halfway into that, dude.
It's trash because it's so much of them trying to make him look like a baby face, and they continued it this week on Dynamite.
Yeah.
and it just doesn't work. And the worst part is that Cody was front and center for all the Roman stuff. You should know if the company tries to make you look like the greatest man alive and the best babyface alive, the crowd is going to turn on you.
Yeah, heavily too.
Heavily.
Yeah, man. No,
they don't give a shit about your interracial marriage or any of that shit or your new baby. They don't give a fuck about you trying to save Ricky Starks in the back from murdering himself because his neck's broken. No, the more you shove that shit in people's face, the more they will hold it against you.
Yeah. By the way, K-Dog or Standing Streamer from Putting You Over joined us in the chat, along with Square Top 10 in here as well. Streamer says, I feel it's the other way, because when Cody attacks Arn, you'll justify the booze. Yeah, but if Arn is painting himself as a murderous backstabber and Cody being the valiant, I don't know, man. It feels, what do I always say, Arden? It feels like they're overthinking it.
Yes, they are.
No,
if anybody doesn't think that they're trying to get you sympathy for Cody, I don't know what the fuck you've been watching in AEW for the past 2 years.
That's always been my major criticism as far as how they do their major storyline booking in AEW is they just have a tendency to overthink it.
Yep.
And that very well could be the case. We'll have to wait and see. But Arn proclaiming that he may or may not have killed a man isn't the only thing that took place on AEW. You mentioned earlier we had a decent match between Adam Cole and Jungle Boy. A lot of near finishes. Fantastic. Cole had to resort to cheating to win, which kind of elevates Jungle Boy to his equal to Cole status wrestling wise, which I think is very smart.
Yep.
Keeping Jungle Boy like one of the most soft-spoken, baby-face looking guys, but dangerous in the ring with that snare trap, I think is a really good angle for that kid.
Well, also too with Adam Cole, like he never gets enough credit for this with his heel work. He always finds a way to make you, some way or another, make you come out liking the babyface even more. Even though you know, and most people know, he's the star. He's who everybody likes to see. And even though he's a heel and wants to see him win, he always gives you something to make you take a second look at that babyface that he's going against. From Gargano to Kyle O'Reilly, all of them, even though we were wrong about Kyle O'Reilly. But still, all those guys here, and he makes you look at them and, like you said, elevates them. Sometimes whether they deserve it or not, but just being in him being the giving performer that he is, it makes you look at him different. So
I picked the wrong time to grab a beer.
No, you're good, bro. We ain't in no rush. We're almost done.
Yeah. I thought your rant would be longer. Yeah, man. I still want to see. I really want to see Jungle Boy like 5 years from now.
Right.
Just to see him a little bit older, a little bit more grizzled. Lose that baby face look. Although him, being late Luke Perry's son, I don't think he'll ever lose that baby face.
No, I'm waiting on him to shave that fucking hair off and get rid of the tassels and shit and become. I don't necessarily want him to become like a heel per se, like Adam Cole, but like somewhere in that like tweener realm, like Hangman kind of, where we're still gonna cheer for you and we fucking love you, but I want to see him do some other shit.
Yeah, same here. Speaking of some big heel shit though, MJF, god damn man, they really greenlight MJF until like mainstream media turns on this dude or something. They are letting this guy push the envelope every promo, and I know he has got to be creating real life controversy. I have to think about it. Like, I know, like, my personal take, like, it's hard to get under my skin unless it's like a blatant thing of like racism or prejudice. Right. But if you can keep something in story and make it make sense and book it correctly, I can get into it. I'm sorry if I sound distracted. I'm being invaded right now by a very young bad boy. All right, come here. If you're gonna do this, come on, make it quick. Make it quick.
Jump on in. Let's go.
This is what I get for my door not being able to lock. Say hi, everyone.
Hi,
All right. Say my name's DJ.
my name is CJ.
All right. Mwah, love you. Go back. Shut my door. All right. Jesus. Dude, he was like doing like the slow peek in, and like, but there was no backing out. Yeah. So back to MJF. What I'm referring to, he tells a story about Darby Allin because Darby comes out, confront him in the ring, and he's talking about how Darby's straight edge because he was in a car accident with his drunk driving uncle who ended up passing from the accident. And God knows that has got to rub some people, like hit really close to home for a ton of people, man.
But the thing about it is, like, I know it does, and like I am condoning what he says because he's the only. There's only a few real heels in wrestling, and he's one of them. God, and I think that's a lot of why he gets the pass, is because he doesn't cross the line, but he does put that toe over. He
crosses the line for some people,
but not enough people for it to be offensive or to push it.
Yeah,
you know
to get. I hate to use this term, but like to try and draw the ire of like the cancel culture of people.
Exactly,
you know
and
I mean?
and I think what the trick is, what they're doing is him making it specific and not talking about a group.
It's personal. Yeah, it's a personal story.
Right. Yeah. And so in wrestling, he's only doing that if he's making it personal. The other person had to agree before him. So that's why he gets a pass for it, and that's why I think I'm okay with it, because he's not just like coming out, oh, this is Cleveland, fuck you guys from Cleveland, you suck, your football. You know what I'm saying? Like he's specifically attacking people in their personal lives, which it's okay with, and they gave him the okay to do it. So
yeah, it's crazy though how far they can push the envelope with him, and and still be able to continue on the tightrope and not, in my opinion, feel like it's gone too far yet. It's like they have a way of going too far without it being too far. See how long they keep that up for. Some smaller things.
You already know, as long as you stay from race and homophobic shit.
Yeah, prejudice stuff. Yeah, keep away from prejudice angles, and you're pretty good, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Green light.
Some minor things. Lio Rush apparently is a financial advisor. He debuted. He's all elite. He gets a video package. He talks about how he can take people's investments, flip it, make everyone money. So what's that mean? Like 3 weeks in, he's going to be part of HFO or something? I don't know, man. It's a weird gimmick. It strikes me like, you know what's weird? The only other person that this reminds me of is, believe it or not, JBL. JBL's an incredibly intelligent man and knows how to play the stock market. Just not sure. I really don't know what to think. Hey, you guys in the chat, let us know what you think of Lio Rush, by the way, because this is one where I'm really at a loss for words with this character.
Lio Rush is a fucking idiot. I tried my best, like especially when he was with Bobby Lashley, like I was in that, but like the constant fucking retirements and like, bro, like just fucking relax. Like I think he's cost himself so much money and so much TV time because he thinks so highly of himself. And normally I'm okay with that. Like I love people that know their worth and aren't, but sometimes, motherfucker, you need to put yourself on sale a little bit, cut the price down. Like I don't know. Like I just can't get down with the guy anymore. Like and this is even before TC told us about the shit he pulled with him. Like he's just a fucking idiot to me. I'm sorry. Like he just is.
Really quick, JJ Wren is in the chat. Hey JJ, how you been? She donated us 15 bits. Hey, thank you so much. Squared Top 10 says he's excited for Rush. This is one thing that I've seen. People are really split down the middle with Rush.
Right.
And I don't know if it's necessarily in the middle. Maybe one side has more than the other, but I do see people that are genuinely excited for him. And then there's other people like you and me that varying degrees of, I don't get him. And you just say, screw that idiot, and
yeah, like I don't like him. Like I try, like I think he's dope in the ring. I think he brings something to the wrestling business, but I think his ego clouds and overshades or overshadows a lot of the good that he could do or can do.
Yeah. I'll touch on one more thing that I found pretty interesting was remember during the whole controversy he had in WWE claiming about like the racism and being like the young boy having to carry bags and shit. Mark Henry famously spoke out and talked on, I believe, Busted Open, saying he would put a hit out on Leo.
Right.
I forget in what. I mean, obviously, I don't think he meant like a contract to kill the man, but nonetheless, it was quite a serious thing. Recently, did you see the picture of them? Apparently, they squashed it backstage at AEW.
Well, my thing too with Mark Henry, like he's such a fucking Uncle Thomas type character to me. Like I can't take anything he says against people serious, and not to mention the shit about him discovering literally everybody from the year 2012 on.
Yeah.
And then Leo Rush being the dickhead that he is. So it's like, who do you believe in that situation?
In your eyes, it's watching two people you dislike fight, and you're like, how do you pick a side?
Exactly, when you hate them both equally.
It's kind of like when the New England Patriots took on Philly in the Super Bowl. It was like a game that everyone wanted everyone to lose.
Exactly. Same thing. Like, I don't know. Like, because don't get me wrong, some of the shit Leo was saying, I know that was probably true. And some of the shit probably did happen. It probably didn't happen as bad as he made it out to be. But then also, Mark Henry's a fucking cooning ass. He's going to downplay anything that happened anyway and make it look and be a homer for WWE. So it's like, who do you believe? So I just say fuck them both.
I just realized I had SmackDown up for whatever reason. Yeah, I don't know. I agree with JJ. She says, I'll hold judgment until he becomes active. And I think that's good.
Right.
Because if there's one thing that we know is they can move like nobody else in the ring.
Right.
So there is a lot of potential of fun matchups, especially like one that comes to mind for all right away. Him and like Ray Phoenix.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking.
Couldn't imagine. Just the work rate that match will probably put on.
Right.
Two other things touch on. They always cram so much into Dynamite. John Huber Legacy Foundation was announced prior to the show. That was awesome. And what it is it was described as Brody Lee was on the verge of giving up his dream as a professional wrestler because of the demand income-wise to take care of his family, and through the encouragement of his family and and his hard work, he obviously got his break in WWE and was able to pursue his dreams. And so I believe, if I read this correctly, this foundation is for other people, artists, entrepreneurs, other creators who are in the same situation. They're not pursuing their dreams based off of their financial situation at home, to help them not only financially pursue it, but educate them, I guess, meet the correct people and know how to go the right path to pursue these dreams, which I think is actually really good. That sounds, it sounds like a tough foundation to structure, but I mean, it sounds great, man. Because I mean, what isn't better than trying to help somebody pursue their dreams, where their primary setback is either A, not having enough cash flow, or B, just not knowing the necessary steps to progress and trying to
sounds extremely difficult and like far-fetched, honestly, if I'm being 100% honest.
It does.
Maybe so much, maybe not so, maybe a lot more for like wrestlers, but if they mean like just creative people as a whole, like
it was, I read on it. It's not strictly for wrestlers.
Okay.
Yeah.
For wrestlers, it's probably fucking impossible, but for actual other people in the entertainment business, like writers, directors, things like that, someone needs to help to get their first movie made, shit like that. Like, yes, I understand. That's like something you can actually make an impact on. But as far as,
it is not strictly for wrestlers. It's creative people. And we may have lost RN for a moment. Squared Top 10 also says Leo Rush should face Dante Martin. I completely agree. I'm going to push forward, and while RN gets his stuff reset, he's going to come back cussing and angry. Hold on. He was able to do it. We have the real RN and the fake RN in the room now. Oh man, hold on. Let me fix that. Remove that. Oh wait, I think I removed the real RN. Oh no. Oh, it's going bad on my show. It's going real bad. He'll be back. At the end of Dynamite, by the way, also, Sammy Guevara ended up beating Miro for the World Champion or TNT Championship in a surprise win. Feel good moment for the crowd, though. Fantastic. RN, what did you think of Sammy Guevara's win?
I was into it. I felt like, to me, honestly, he was the biggest star in the inner circle minus Jericho, and I feel like he had the biggest breakout, or the potential to have the biggest breakout. Like, I didn't think Miro would lose it as soon, but I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad that they traded back a couple times too either.
Yeah, I don't feel like Miro was at the end of his reign by any means.
No.
And you're right. Like, trading it back would be pretty cool. Miro getting pushed up to the world title scene, although that scene is so congested right now. But yeah, I mean, at Rochester, sending Rochester home happy, with a big moment like that, I think was really good to do. And then shortly after, it was weird. Did you catch this? So the first commercial break of Roads to the Top, which preceded Dynamite, actually had Sammy Guevara backstage talking about his championship win, and it was announced that same night Bobby Fish is challenging him Wednesday for the title.
No, I didn't catch it. Like, I didn't watch too much of it. I was over it.
Yeah, so by the time Roads to the Top had its first commercial break, it was actually AEW like feed right there from the arena, and Sammy just was celebrating and then pointed out on Twitter that he was challenged by Bobby Fish. Side note, there's been a graphic made, and some eagle-eyed fans have spotted that in Bobby Fish's the shirt that he's wearing is A, not on Pro Wrestling Tees, and B, has a small AEW logo, which is leading people to speculate that he may have already signed with the company.
Yeah, I mean, good luck. I mean, the motherfucker can't stay on TV or not injured for the life of him. So I mean,
you got a point there. All right, let's move over to SmackDown. You said you did not get a chance to see it.
No, I did not.
Okay, it's fine. I'm not gonna lie to you. I really don't think you missed much. Let me see.
Trying to find the picks.
Yeah, so the draft. I have the draft picks right here. So the draft picks that we had on the show were as follows. Round 1 saw Raw get Big E, kept him on Raw. Bianca Belair is getting drafted to Raw. She has that triple threat match at Crown Jewel where she might bring the championship with her. RK Bro was kept. That was smart. Edge was drafted over to Raw. Separate him and Seth Rollins. I think that's good. Let that feud simmer for a while. Rhea Ripley and Nikki Ash. So this is where my wife was confused. So they're the women's tag team champion. They can float from show to show, but if they lose their belts, they're
stuck on SmackDown.
If they lose their belts, they're stuck on Raw now. But they can still show up on SmackDown while they're champ.
Wait, did they get drafted to Raw or SmackDown?
Nikki Ash and Rhea Ripley were drafted to Raw.
Oh, I thought they were drafted to SmackDown.
Nope. Keith Bearcat Lee was also drafted to Raw. Rey and Dominic Mysterio, along with Austin Theory, who was called up from NXT. SmackDown, they kept Roman Reigns. They brought over Charlotte Flair. They brought Drew McIntyre. So that whole stare-off between Drew and Big E on Raw was pretty much for nothing, I guess.
Right.
New Day, broken up again. So New Day just reunites with Big E, and they're broken up again. I said this as a joke a couple months, like a couple of weeks ago. I said they'll break them up again just to pop Vince in the back.
I don't get it. And the shit with Drew too as well. Like, What was the point of that?
I don't know, man. I really don't. I think what they said was the draft picks won't go into effect, however, for like another 2 or 3 weeks?
Probably so after Crown Jewel, I would imagine.
Yeah, so maybe it's to set up like a match between him. I don't know. It's a mess. Like I said, it almost feels like WWE didn't really think this thing through.
I don't understand why they broke up New Day again. Like, it makes no fucking sense.
Breaks my fucking heart, man. Like, the New Day just work so well as a trio, and it's not even, it's weird. They've been together forever, probably the longest running.
It's damn near a decade, ain't it?
Yeah, and they don't feel stale. They have they play to each other's strengths so well. It doesn't make sense, in my opinion. Moving on, Happy Corbin and Madcap Moss, whose gimmick has been reduced down to just fucking laughing on air at this point. It's ridiculous. All the potential you had with Corbin and Moss looks to be, well, Moss not so much, but Corbin in general,
right,
looks to be squandered. This complex story, a man down on his luck, comes back at Vegas, now reduced to just 2 guys that can't stop laughing. That's it. That's their character. They laugh. They laugh backstage. They laugh during their entrance, and when they do like a schemy double team move, they laugh. That is the depth.
Welcome to WWE.
Yep. And then so with that level of creativity, it's got to make you so excited for Hit Row to be called up, because I'm sure they'll handle those characters fantastically.
Your sarcasm said it all. Like, first of all, they have no idea how to manage or how to write any person of color. They don't even know how to write other white people like themselves. So I just don't see, like, I'm not excited for this at all. And like I said, it wasn't like they were doing so much better. I think they're doing so much better on NXT. It's just that WWE has proven time and time again they have no idea how to write urban characters. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying they can't promote people of color, because clearly, look at Lashley, look at Big E.
We're at an all-time high. There, we are at an all-time high.
But those guys are not being portrayed as an urban product. They're just wrestlers that they are themselves, luckily, and can push that. They can be themselves without the black part being a part of it. Hit Row is literally based and steeped in black and urban street culture. These motherfuckers are not going to know how to write this and make it worth the damn.
Yo, if we get fucking Crime Time 2.0,
you know that's what's going to happen.
God, dude.
That was the reason why I wasn't, like, I've never called for them. Have you ever heard me say I can't wait for them to come to the main roster?
Yeah, right. No, it's definitely, and I feel for it, because people are saying like Hit Row aren't ready for the main roster, and I'm like, that's not the issue. For one, like, fuck you, anybody who says if anyone's ready or not. It's a sink or swim business, and exactly. I feel bad because you are all the time saying people aren't ready, but
I don't mean like ready for the main roster. I just meant not ready for TV in general.
Yeah.
I'm not calling what show they're on. I'm saying sometimes you need to be tucked off in the fucking corner where no one can see it.
Yeah. Yeah. SmackDown
don't get me wrong. I think they are ready for TV. I mean, especially Swerve. Like, Swerve's been doing this for a long fucking time. Like, he can be anything you need him to be. And then as long as you have a veteran like that to guide those other guys, they're fine. But like I said, my thing is like, a group of weird-ass, nerdy, 20-year-old white dudes trying to tell black people how to talk and act black is a recipe for fucking disaster.
Oh, my God. You're not lying, man. The last 2 televised picks was Naomi and Jeff Hardy both going to SmackDown. Now, after the show, via Talking Smack, so I'm sure a lot of people may have missed this.
Yep.
Raw and SmackDown had more picks. Remember, Raw gets every 3 for SmackDown's 2, or every 2 for 1.
Like that,
so
yeah.
Raw picked up a lot more. They got Nia Jax, Drake Maverick, Reggie, Zelina Vega heading over to Raw. I'm happy about that. Kira Tozawa stayed put. Alpha Academy brought over to Raw. R-Truth. John Morrison, that's probably the most interesting pick, but the fact that it was on Talking Smack doesn't give me the most confidence. Dewdrop, Apollo Crews, and Commander Aziz. So even when Big E swaps brands, you still can't get him away from goddamn Apollo. And T-Bar, finally. Whereas SmackDown got Aaliyah, Tony Storm, Drew Gulak, Mace, and then Mustafa Ali and Mansoor. I'm actually really excited about Ali and Mansoor. I really think those guys are going to have an awesome upside in the tag team division.
I wish I could be excited for Drew, but I know he was already on SmackDown getting buried before he went to Raw.
That's true. He got buried by goddamn Roman. Now, the interesting thing here about T-Bar is him and Mace have now broken up. The retribution is finally done. And he on his Twitter page said something along the lines like, I can't remember anything. He quoted himself saying, "Feast your eyes," which means we might actually be getting Dijak. Along with that, you got
if he's on Raw, you have to put him and fucking
Keith Lee
together immediately.
Yes, like
immediately.
Yes, absolutely.
To save both of them.
But yeah, so interesting. And then, of course, here in about 10 minutes, we're going to be kicking off the next set of the draft picks as well. So that's going to be interesting to see. Squared actually had a thought. He feels like Braun might get called up, which that would be interesting. And then on top of that, possibly Roman and Big E might be swapping places. I don't know if you can draft someone after they've been drafted, but I hope you're right, my friend. Now, on SmackDown, not anything really crazy happened. Brock Lesnar came back and ruined Roman Reigns' night. Lesnar did cut probably his best promo in like a decade, because backstage Jeff Hardy was being interviewed as a recent draft pick. Lesnar walked in scene. Jeff remembered Brock Lesnar's debut where he like murdered him and Matt. So Jeff quietly walked off screen, and Brock addressed the camera and said, "Thanks to Paul Heyman, he is a free agent and essentially can just go wherever he wants." Right. Which we already know that about Brock. Brock can turn up wherever the hell he feels like he wants to anyways.
Nice.
Corbin beat Kevin Owens to fan the flames on Twitter if Kevin Owens is heading to AEW with this new narrative that Kevin Owens looks miserable on TV. Well, I would be miserable too if this dude who can't stop fucking laughing keeps pinning my ass.
A lot of people, I'm not one of those people that are taking to that Kevin Owens to AEW shit. I mean, he put his body on the line and did a lot of terrible shit to himself in the Indies to get to WWE. I'm not sure he's one of those guys that's going to flip. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if he does, but I don't think he's one of those guys.
Yeah, JJ says we're finally getting Dijak back. We hope so. I'm 50-50 with this. I fully agree with what you're saying, but then it could also be the case of Adam Cole. He saw his girlfriend and his real life best friends all hanging out there. Who knows, man?
But that's the thing. Kevin Owens is the exact opposite of all of that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, his best friend is Finn and a couple other guys. Yeah, Adam Cole and him too, but like his actual friends, Zayn, Finn, are there on the same show, and his wife isn't one of them. Like, she's just a normal person. So it's like, it's not really the same like it is with Adam Cole being over here left in the snow by himself. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Carmella debuted a gimp mask. It's just like a bedazzled gimp mask.
I'm kind of into that.
No, it's ugly as fuck. It's so bad. Sasha Banks beat Bianca Belair via distraction. And then Seth Rollins, who had probably potentially the coolest angle of the entire night, broke into Edge's house in North Carolina, Asheville, like my backyard, essentially. Two things that are funny about this. Nobody was home, and so he proceeds just to walk around Edge's house like an episode of MTV Cribs. He ain't even tossing the place. He just hops in the dude's fridge, starts eating an apple, hops in like his man cave office. I don't know what to call it. His study room. Chills there, points at some pictures, says nice stuff, and hangs out. And that's it. And then Edge
Fire.
backstage calls Arn Anderson. No, I wish he'd called Arn Anderson. That would have been the perfect one. No, he calls Beth and just tells the kids, tells them, don't go to the house. I'm going to send my brothers over. And then that's it. No, Brian Pillman angle where throughout the night they're getting to the house. No, that was it. Seth appeared in the house. Edge called Beth, said, don't go home. It was such a, bad,
letdown.
Weird non-finish to such a cool angle. And that was it, man. That was really it. You didn't, like I said, you didn't miss too much. That home invasion angle was pretty fun to look at. Carmella's mask is something to see. Brock Lesnar's promo, and then hearing the draft picks. You could have knocked out SmackDown in probably 20 minutes. If I'm being perfectly honest with you. And
that's pretty much every week.
Yeah. And then lastly is Rampage. Did you catch Rampage?
I caught the first part of it, so not really, no.
Not really? Oh man, I always am super tired by the time Rampage comes around. Let me see what happened here because I don't have my notes here, but I'm sure it'll jog
Daniel
my
Bryan
memory.
versus one of the Bucks.
Yeah, Danielson and Jackson killed it. Nick is an awesome in-ring competitor. In a singles match, Nick is fantastic. And Danielson ended up winning with that cattle mutilation. What a fucking awesome submission, man.
It is. I wish he had got to use it in WWE.
Yeah. After the match, Adam Cole comes out. Or is it Adam Cole? Let me see here. Who was it? It was...
I don't know.
Kenny. No, Kenny. Kenny and Adam Cole both were caught in the snare trap and the yes lock, and both tapping out in the middle of the ring while the Elite watched on. That was actually a cool moment. I've never seen Kenny tags or tap so fast in my life.
Right.
Triple threat between Jade Cargill, Nyla Rose, and Thunder Rosa was a pretty hard-hitting affair. It was Jade Cargill's longest match to date, and she is still undefeated. I'm telling you, man. Jade,
I want to go back and watch that match again. Yeah,
Jade is, dude, just please keep her rolling. And then, they closed out the night with probably the weakest thing, which was Orange Cassidy and Jack Evans. Hair versus hair match, and they shaved Jack Evans' hair.
Did see that.
Yeah, Rampage is a cool little hour. They need to figure out, they do need to start. I love, how they open strong, but they have to finish strong too.
Right.
So they got to find a way. I'm not saying, book two huge things, but just make sure. Because, honestly, how I would have done it, I would have put the Jade, Thunder Rosa, and Nyla Rose to open the show. And then the Danielson and Nick Jackson match to close it.
See, I would have did it the opposite. I would have had the women close and
just put that hair versus hair in the middle of the show.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. It's probably due to that they were still in Rochester.
Yeah.
And so they wanted the Dark Order to close out the entire night. So I'm assuming that's probably why it was.
I'd say that's probably about right.
Yeah. Heading on over to the chat, JJ says, so nobody caught the nip slip. No.
No, I didn't either.
Feel free to DM me though.
Facts.
Jade's had wardrobe issues. What was it? That Battle Royal at All Out. She had the same thing, man. She couldn't stay in her outfit. They got to fix that shit. But yeah, that's it, man. On to the draft.
I'm ready. See who stays.
Yeah. RN, it's always a pleasure with you, my friend. You guys in the chat, that's our show this week. Let us know some of the shit that we probably should have touched on that we may have missed. Other than that, the whole follow, share, subscribe, download, all that fun shit. And thank you again. 10,000 downloads, man. I still haven't come down from that.
Appreciate you, everybody. We love it.
Yeah. Until next time, y'all have a good one.
See y'all next week.